Hey guys, and welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we're going to be diving into some more Mekanism and getting ourselves a nice little power upgrade. So, I hope you guys are ready. With a moment, I want to get into Mekanism a little bit more. I've done a lot of mining today, and I decided to go ahead and start carving out a little bit of an area to settle in. At least have a nice area for Mekanism. So, this area I think is going to be a pretty decent option. Now, I still have a lot of decorating to do. I still need an axe. Oh, I didn't even realize I ended up getting a skeleton spawn egg. So yeah, I've been fighting off mobs. Finally, something dropped from the capturing that I have on here. So yeah, if you're wondering how I got a skeleton spawn egg, well, now you know. So yeah, I just filled in the entire floor area. I'm placing down oak, but it's not going to stay that way. There's going to be a lot of mixture between the cobblestone itself, because I think this texture looks really good, especially up against the dark oak, and then an axe. I think it looks really good when the log is stripped. So we have it like this. Let's take a look. So if I put a slab on top, right, it doesn't fit too well into the space, especially up against this oak. But when we strip it, a different story, because it gives us this like a nice smooth kind of look to it, similar to what we have over here. Like, I think this fits really well up against the oak, and it definitely lightens the texture up a little bit. So before we start doing things with power to be able to move things around so we can get Mekanism planted over there, I do want to finish up working on this mining gadget. So I did mine quite a bit, like I mentioned, and we have diamond now. Right here, 25, that should be plenty, I think, to be able to get the 3x3, which is going to change the way I mine. So let's go ahead and grab this. Let's see, mining gadget, and then I need this, which is going to need allthemodium, which I have found 2 more allthemodium, so I'm not too concerned about using this one up. Looks like we need a bit more redstone, and that's going to leave us with a blank. And then we need a diamond pickaxe, like a very healthy one. There we go. And more redstone blocks, which I really need to just make a few of these so we have them nice and stored. Okay, there we go. There's our upgrade. And that way we can toss this in here. And now this is a usable tool. It is a fast one. And the only other thing that I want to eventually add on here is I want to add the fortune. So that way when we do mine diamond, we acquire a bit more of it. Now, I have some redstone setting in my inventory with some obsidian. This is where we get into a little thing called Flux Networks. Now, I'm only going to need, I think, 3 ender pearls in order to get a very basic Flux Network setup. And Flux Networks can be kind of confusing, but it is basically considered wireless power transfer. And it can also charge things. So it has a lot of uses, and I absolutely love it. So let's go ahead and dive into this mod. So to get started with it, it's a little bit different than how it used to be. Used to be, you could just, click redstone on a block of coal, and that would basically initialize the craft, and that's what you would have. You would have access to this stuff called sooty redstone. But we have to now go all the way down to bedrock level, which the more I'm mining here, the more I'm realizing, hey, I need a torch, because it is going to get really dark. Well, the good thing is it looks like we have flat bedrock, which I actually like flat bedrock. It's going to make this a lot easier. So what I need is to turn off my magnet. That's probably the number one thing. Turn this off. We need our redstone ready to go. We need bedrock, and we also need a block of obsidian that we are going to place. So let's go ahead and throw out all of our redstone and hurry and get away from it. Place this block here, and then right click it. Right? Shift right click it? Oh, punch it. Sorry. I'm sitting here left. I was right clicking it. But yeah, we need to punch it. And that is going to generate, as you can see here, flux dust. So yeah, normally you would take redstone. That's how it was, I think, in 1.12. I think it's how it still is in 1.12. But these newer versions and updates, things change, and I kind of like this change. It's kind of nice. Basically requires you before you didn't have to have anything special, like you didn't have to have a diamond pickaxe. Well, now you kind of do, because you need obsidian, even though technically you could, I guess, generate your own obsidian with a bucket of lava and water, but still, you do need this. But we need to use this with about 3 ender pearls. to make our first Flux Networks. So Flux, and we search this, which is going to be a Flux Plug. The plug is how we're going to send energy. Basically, this is what's going to collect energy, and then the point is what's going to send energy somewhere else to be used. So we're going to need just a Flux block, which is going to require these Flux cores. We get 4 of these, though, and we're also going to need a bit of obsidian. So that's the one thing. I don't know if I have a whole lot of obsidian. I don't. So I'm going to go mine up some obsidian. It shouldn't take too long for me to do that. I cannot use this, but I can use the mining gadget, and the mining gadget is actually pretty fast at mining this. So let's grab a bucket of water, and I will go off. Actually, yeah, don't mistake this for water. I literally almost did. This is bad stuff to have in your inventory. So just to demonstrate how fast this thing can actually be, let me go ahead and place this here so we can actually collect it. But yeah, watch. That's just one. Okay, so let's change our mode to 3x3. And yeah, it's pretty quick with that speed modifier, at least for grabbing quite a bit. Now, the only thing is it could be a lot faster by simply ore excavating, right? I don't think this tool mines obsidian, does it? No. So we can't actually use this to mine obsidian, but you know what? I think I might go back, or do I have it in my inventory? I have this. We have this netherite pick, so technically I could probably just mine this all out right here and be good, just using ore excavator. That way we can mine out a whole bunch at once. And it's actually pretty quick. Look at this, and there's no enchant on it. Yep, there we go. And that was a whole stack. So that should definitely last us for a little while. And I still want to leave a little bit of lava just in case I need it later on. So for this, really you only need 3 sets of flux cores. As you can see right here, we need 1 to make a flux block. And that's just 1 set. Then we can combine that and make ourselves a flux plug. And then we just need a block of redstone in that to make this. Now, this is going to be very simple. What I eventually want to work on is getting the Flux Controller. That's going to require a few more ender pearls, as I need 5 ender pearls just for this set right here. Actually, 6 ender pearls, basically, to make this Flux Controller. This is going to allow me to wirelessly charge my equipment, which is going to be a lot faster than what we've been using lately. So to connect to this, really, I want to connect directly to the bottom, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect into the cables that we have connected to this, like right from the start, hopefully giving it priority. So just right down here. I know I'm not using a shovel. I know, sad. But I should be able to connect, yeah, right into here. And then let's go ahead and create our network. So right now, we don't really have anything set up. Let's go to create new network. And we can just we can call this main for right now. Like main. If you were on a server, you can name it like your username or whatever you want. And I'm just going to color it however I want. It doesn't need to be encrypted. I'm going to leave it public, actually. So when I share these worlds with my patrons, you guys can access this power. But yeah, that should be it. Hit create. And we're good to go. Now, I need to go back to the home. It says, please select a network. So select this network in the main selections page. And we're good. You could turn on chunk loading if you wanted. Like, that's probably, like, if it wasn't banned on this server, like it says. There are things that you can do. Of course, you can chunk load with your FTB chunks here, if that's what you want to do. It's probably disabled in the configs by default. That's why it's like that. So, we have power going in. Well, we need the power to be moved, right? So we need to send this somewhere, and I wanted to send it over here. Let me go ahead and grab, well, after we kill this skeleton, I need to grab some of those cables, because I just want to route the cables connected to this. I'll show you. Is it called net? Yeah, called cables right here. So we have a few left over here. And then I want to set this up. This is going to be basically powering these machines. To do this, I'm just going to bury the line. Let me grab this and just make it a little bit easier. Actually, you know what? Why don't I just use this? I should use this more often for like things like this, where we just need to break. It's so fast, actually. This is like way faster than anything else. So let's hook our cables up right down here. And those should be directly connected. And what we can do is I'm going to show you this flux point is going to be able to connect to these power nodes and take the power from over there and bring it over here. Pretty simple, right? I'm gonna grab this and connect here. You can see it is connected, but we need to configure this. So let's open it up and make sure you select the network. And then perfect. Now, these will get power from all the way over there. And it's wireless. So this is exactly what I want. Except for the cables probably need to be buried as I can see them, which is not exactly what I want. And facading them, I don't think there's a good way to facade them right now, so just burying them underground is probably going to be the better option. So to really get into Mekanism, we need to take these two metallurgic infusers and put them to good use. And to do that, we need to start making some steel. As you can see, we're just like barely far enough away that we can't access our system from here, but right here we can. Okay, so I'm gonna need coal, right? Luckily we can use just straight coal and we'll be fine. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of that and iron. So I should have a couple stacks of iron. What I want to do is I want to get coal put in here and iron put in here, and this is going to give us something special. It's going to give us the product that is going to be used to make steel, which is going to be energized iron, I believe. So, or enriched iron, my bad. So it's going to give us enriched iron. Enriched iron needs to go over here into this with more coal, and this will give us steel, or it'll give us steel dust. And then we need to use that steel dust to make steel. Look at that, steel dust. And then this right here can be put into some other machine. Now, the reason I need this is because a lot of the things in Mekanism is going to require this. So to set this up, I think I might be able to configure this to automatically eject. So let's clear these all out so we can kind of see what we got going on here. So let's say I have this, I want to go to the output over here. Perfect. And then I want this all to be turned off. I can put eject on and set this to input. And then technically, if I had another machine over here, I could have this machine. Oh, let's also put the top up here as an input. Top on this as an input, because I want to potentially put a chest here. And then right here, we can have like some kind of furnace that can cook this steel dust down. But we probably want to look at more Mekanism stuff, right? So what can cook this in Mekanism? Well, we take a look here, and you can see the energized smelter is one of the things. So an energized smelter, what does it take to make it? Well, it's going to require a steel casing. So we're going to need at least 4 steel, which we do have at the moment. We just need to cook this up. So let's go back to our base, our main part of our base anyways, and we're going to cook this up. And then that is going to lead us into the automation of steel. Pretty cool. Let's go ahead and place that there. Of course, I am processing ore. Eventually, we're going to have a lot faster ore processing than thermal can do. Making the energized smelter is actually quite simple. It's very, very early. Now, the energized smelter on its own is great. It'll do the job. Right? It's a single smelter, but to upgrade these machines, let me just show you. If we place this down, it has a single slot. I want to show you how easy it is to upgrade this. Now, keep in mind, this only needs 8 RF to run. It is very minimal on that front, but we can upgrade this ever so slightly, and it only takes a little bit more. So the energized smelter, if we hover over it, we can see that we can upgrade it to a basic smelting factory and upgrade it basically to a factory. And it just requires this little setup here. So let's see, smelting factory. As you can see, here it is. And all we got to do is drop this in here, and we have a basic smelting factory. Now, this is great. This gives us extra slots, right? So now we have 3 slots, and it can do 3 at a time, 3 items at a time. I want to take this even further, and each time you upgrade, it's going to get more and more slots. So what is this when you upgrade it? I wish I could just search here. Let's see, factory, smelting. So if we take it to the next, which is the advanced, you might think, oh, I can't do this, but you actually can. These are pretty simple to make, and you only need 2 of them. So here we go. And this is about as far as you're going to be able to go as of right now. So this is going to have far more slots. It's going to have 5 of them, which is perfect. This will be very useful later on in pretty much every machine that we generate, or every machine that we make, is most likely going to be able to be factorized like that. So let's see if we can get this hooked in. I basically just need to get my cable pulled out. Cable, and then we'll get that hooked into this machine. There we go. And we'll just put this right next to it, and that should hopefully allow this to be somewhat automated. We need to basically say, all right, let's take this out. Let's say input here, auto eject on. Over here, we need this side to be output. And now we are getting this. And I'm going to set this to auto sort on. And that's going to do all of these items at once. As you can see, it is using 100 RF per tick to do all of them at once. But these are still able to run just fine. And this is pretty much automated and making steel for me. Good thing about having this still is I can now make logistical pipes for item transfer. And so now we can have like a chest or like a couple of chests. Let's go ahead and just make a couple chests here. And I can set these up to send the items over here. But I'm still going to need one more item, and that's going to be a configurator. So we should be able to make a configurator here. Let's see, place that there, and I think we have everything. Perfect. So you don't even really need a charge on the configurator if you don't want. At least getting started, you don't. So I'm going to place a block here so I can place this chest. And then I'm going to hold down shift. Well, actually, I shouldn't have done that. I should be able to place these separately as if they're separate inventories. Is it control? I think it's just shift, right? Yeah, there we go. So now we have two separate inventories. And I do need that so I can separate the different materials here. And then this right here, I'm going to use my configurator to say, okay, hey, let's, if I can separate them, configurator, the wrench. Set that to rotate. We need configure items. There we are. That should be able to, there we go, none. So eventually you'll click it enough and you'll get it to go there. So I need to hold shift and click here, and this is going to be putting this to extract mode, and that's on extract mode. And we set this to input on the top before. So what we should have is, I think, red is the top, and there is a yellow, isn't there? So that's the problem I'm going to have, I think, is I want red and yellow to be on the same, but I don't think it's going to work that way. We're also running out of power. I think it's mostly due to these things. It is running. Oh no, this is the carbon bar. What am I talking about? We're not running out of power. We're running out of coal. So let's see. Let me grab some more coal. I don't know if that's going to allow me to put coal into those slots or not. It's going to run in there. That's going to go into the yellow. But if I put iron, it won't work. Simply because of that slot, I don't think. Let's try some iron. It shouldn't transfer this iron into those slots. Yeah, as you can see, it's not doing anything. Input will allow me to put the red in, but I don't think I can do both. It says input outputs, top purple, energy, extra, top yellow. Okay. So I guess what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to have one section to be red, and maybe have another pipe that's going towards the back, and then that would allow it to be automated. So I know the machines are pretty loud. There is something you can do, is we can go down here and we can search for like the recent, and of course mute these machines. Like this one is the energized. So I just muted it, as you can see here. It is so much better to be able to do that. The good thing about the configurator is I can actually say what side this is. And I should be able to change whether or not this can accept items or not. Or see that change happening. What is the back? It would be the back, wouldn't it? Left back, right here. So this tells me this is the back, so I'm going to put this to yellow. So as you can see, that is now yellow. And all I got to do is I just place this down here, and that should now take both items, coal and iron, can go into here. This one just needs coal. So it basically needs the same sort of setup. I'm getting this set up. So coal, this will be our nice little automated setup here. At least for still, so long as we have some iron. Place coal in here, place coal in here. We should be good for coal for a little while. And then all this has to do is just generate steel for us out of the iron that we put in this chest. So I think at the moment, it's a good time to probably move our system here. And yes, things are going to kind of be stopped, like this is going to be stopped. So our production, our auto production is not going to work properly. But because we have cables now, I think we might be able to route this a little bit better. I don't know. Probably set it up potentially to we could probably eventually set it back up. We're just going to need a bit more cable to route it all the way over here, or probably set the system up somewhere else. And I also need to grab this little fella. There we go. And potentially that cable. Perfect. And I want to set this up all the way over here. Like, I want to move this system so we don't have to go underground all the time. I'm so tired of going underground. It's just, yeah, it's just not good. Not good practice. All right. So let's go ahead and set this up here. So it's going to be pretty much the same little deal. Hopefully that doesn't continue. Why is that graphical glitch happening? Because of the angle that it's facing? Like, what? Okay, that face is fine. That face is fine. That does not. Okay. Maybe I just need to hook it up. Excuse me? I thought it could be hooked to anything. I guess it does need to be hooked to the controller, doesn't it? Okay. So we'll move this and this. And I'll put the controller down here instead. There we go. Controller hooked up, and disk drive dark, to say the least. Oh boy, it is really dark. Is it these lights affecting it? No, it's just I guess where it's facing. It being surrounded by those blocks, I guess, causes some problems. By the way, if you want this light to not attach like that, what I can do is place it like that, and there we go. Now we have it. So yeah, this, for some reason, this is just a graphical thing. Just something to do with probably Minecraft's render engine. All right, so now that we have this set back up, the only thing we need to do is get our range hooked back into this. And to do that, I'm just gonna attach a cable just to the back here. And put this back on. Simple cable, this on the back, those range upgrades in there, and just cover this back up. We probably need to shift right click on here to make sure that we're relinked to the proper one, in which we are. And there we go. Now all we gotta do is decorate this and make it look a little bit nicer. And I'll probably just utilize some cobblestone and stuff like that to make it look just a little bit better. So at the moment we are producing quite a bit of power, but I would love to produce a bit more. And so what I have here is a few more reactor casings, and I want to see if I'm going to have enough reactor casings to sort of expand this a bit more. I actually want to make this a 5x5 instead of a 3x3. That leaves us a little bit of space for some coolant. Now, all of these blocks basically are going to get removed. So let's go ahead and replace those. We can leave the block in the middle. That's not a big deal. But I do need to take these and get them out of the way. So what can we do with this? Okay, so I want to extend this up by 3. So instead of using 1 reactor fuel rod, we're going to use this many. We're going to use 2 or 3. I mean, on top of that is going to be the same thing. We have the reactor control that's going to go on top. And then I just want to see, I hope I have enough to kind of cover this whole thing. I might have to go pull out some more. The only problem is it requires power to do that, and I'm sort of low on it, so I might have to go get a dynamo just to make sure I do have enough to be able to craft more. Yes, as you can see, we're kind of probably running out. We're probably not going to have exactly the amount that I wanted, but I wanted to fill this middle section with water. As you can see, this is probably not going to be enough material. No. I do have some like IO ports and stuff, but that's still, I'm going to need just a little bit more. And I'm pretty sure I'm completely out of power over here. I don't think. Yeah, I should be completely out. So I'm going to grab a dynamo, and I'm going to use that to power up our machine. We should be fine as far as that goes. Yeah, as you can see, I've been clearing this area out. I'm getting ready to change up all of this stuff, so just kind of working on getting all that done. So I should be able to put everything back together. I'm going to go ahead and place my reactor terminal here. We of course have our input and output I/O ports. If I can place them right. I don't know how I am just not aiming right for some reason. There we go. And then on the back, I do have my redstone port. I'm actually going to kind of leave out the redstone port because it's just, I think it's been kind of getting in the way more than anything at the moment, and we can add it when we need it. So up top, right, I have 3 of these in here. Let's see what it looks like with just air, right? If I power this with just air, we're going to kind of see the rates. So this will take more fuel now that we have more fuel rods. Let's go ahead and kick this on, activate reactor, and we're going to see our RF per tick hopefully go up, and we should be getting more RF per tick. We do only have 1 in here, and as you can see, the temperature is probably going to be a little bit higher. The case heat is low, but the fuel heat is high because there's nothing around it. So I'm going to disable the reactor. You can see we're only getting about 500 or so RF per tick. And what I can do is I can fill this with water, and that should hopefully be able to be enough to make this a little bit better. So let's grab some buckets. I'm just going to go ahead and get one little thing of water because I can make a water source while I'm in here. And believe me, water is not the best thing. You can actually use materials in here. So I could use something other than water. I can use like iron blocks, for example. There's a lot of stuff that you could potentially use. I don't know if the mod's in here that tells you what's the best thing to use. I don't think that that's in here. But yeah, the cooler stuff, like if we have Enderium and stuff, I'm sure that's one of the cooler solutions. And there we go. The whole reactor is completely filled with water, and we should be good. Let's go ahead and kill this guy. All right, and now when we kick it on, this should be a little bit less. As you can see, it is now a little bit less. We're already generating almost 200 more. 300. Like, we're producing almost 800 RF per tick now because we added water in here. Like, so that's how much of a difference that is. Now, as far as consumption, we went up just a tiny little bit on the amount of fuel that we're using per tick. But I've noticed I'm not using hardly any at all. Like, we're barely using any of this fuel to run this machine. So yeah, as you can see, I've been running it this whole time, like since we set this thing up, and I've only used 12 ingots worth. So pretty ridiculous as far as that goes. Like, on its fuel efficiency, it is quite nice. By the way, if you also wanted to do this a little bit differently, what you could potentially do, instead of having 1 in here, you could technically fill this whole thing with reactor control rods, and if that's what you wanted to do, you could do that. Some of the other patterns is you could probably place 1 here, 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 and here, and have everywhere else filled with water. Like, that's a good idea. You could have it placed here, 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 and here, but I think the best solution would probably be to have a little diamond shape right here with just 4, and then fill all of the sides. That would leave you with only one side not getting a coolant touching it. So there are many different ways you can configure this. As you can see, I'm generating about 800 RF per tick just off of this one. You know, the case heat isn't high, but the fuel heat is pretty high. And like I said, there's a few ways you can combat this, but I mean, I could definitely generate way more power if I had 3 rods, but I would probably be consuming 4 times as much fuel in order to maintain it. So of course, as always, I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, and that is going to go to Lo-Fi Reaps. Thank you so much for your patronage. I really do appreciate it. If you're interested, by the way, in becoming a Patreon yourself, of course, you can find that all linked down in the description below. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and also give this video a big thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. It helps the video out a lot. And guys, I hope to see you in the next episode. And as always, thanks for watching.